Hello and welcome to Recap Motion Films. Today we will explain you a movie named The Eagle. Before we begin, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. The plot of the film begins with the introduction of the main character, Marcus. He has come to see his senior army commander. He informs him, "Our fort looks to be in poor condition, and we should rebuild it as soon as possible." Marcus is resting the next night when he hears a weird voice. He approaches the commander and inquires, "What was the nature of the noise you heard? This might be the sound of any dangerous animal according to him." Marcus asks Commander that, "If it's okay with you, I'd want to prepare an army force for the attack, to confront the deadly animal and fight." "I don't believe it's any animal," Marcus replies, "but ready your troops," says Commander. In the next scenario, the army troops are preparing to attack. They are unable to locate anybody until Marcus looks back. The enemy men attack them, but Marcus and the army fight back bravely and overcome them. Marcus sends a team to investigate the incident. In the morning, Marcus approaches his commander and inquires, "Has the group that we deployed returned?" "No, they haven't returned, and we haven't heard anything about them, either dead or alive," according to the commander. Meanwhile, a tribal group comes in front of them. The tribe that attacked them was the same tribe that had previously attacked them. The group of army that Marcus sent to investigate have been defeated, and we now see the defeated group. Marcus sent the army group to be sure shot last night. The tribesmen have taken the group as prisoner. The tribe's chief asks whether they are the same individual that has occupied our property, slaughtered our children, and destroyed our whole families. "We've come to take vengeance, and now we're going to slaughter every single one of your men." After that, their leader beheads one of their men. Marcus is devastated by what he saw and reports the commander. Marcus says to Commander, "I can't watch my men die one by one." He requests the commander to prepare the army and deploy it to the front lines with him. "Your goal is to maintain 50 troops at the gate." Marcus then joins the soldiers in an attack. Both forces are engaged in a fierce combat. In this fight, many innocent and harmless people are killed. Marcus realizes they are losing the battle. Later on, he approaches the leader and kills him with his spear. Marcus drops down due to his injuries. He sees his childhood in an eagle. When he opens his eyes, he finds his uncle in front of him. He introduces himself as the brother of his father. "You did an exceptional job by going up against a large army alone and overpowering them. Fighting against tens of thousands of soldiers alone is not an easy feat, and surviving a combat with thousands of army people is a big feat." He also claims that when you passed out, your Roman soldiers carried you and brought you to me. "I'm also currently treating you." The next day, Commander comes to meet with Marcus. The commander says, "Our entire army is really impressed by your courage." He leaves after speaking with him, and Marcus and his uncle subsequently attend a show in the town. Marcus asks his uncle regarding his father's whereabouts. He claims to have been a brave and capable leader. He fights and defends the eagle till he dies. "I'd like to tell you something about the significance of eagle for the Romans. Eagle is a sign of triumph and glory, and they will not be able to win unless they have that eagle. Their odds of victory decrease as the eagle glides away from them. For the eagle, every Roman will fight to the death, that they are prepared to put their lives at danger to acquire the eagle." A British slave is seen on a battlefield. He is given a weapon to use in combat against a Roman. He can be seen throwing his weapons towards the Roman. After seeing this, everyone shouts, "Kill him, because he is a slave. You must kill him. We must kill him since he is British enemy." Marcus, who sat in front of them, warned them not to do so. He also insists on bringing his entourage, requests that they should not murder him by saying no. Everyone eventually agrees that he should not be murdered and should be released. Marcus later saves the life of a slave and takes him with him. Aska is the name of this slave. He informs Marcus that the knife he is holding is his father's. He may now accept this, since he is slave to Marcus now, because if Marcus hadn't been there, he would have died. The doctor removes Marcus' stitches the next day. The doctor asks Marcus' uncle to assist him, but his uncle says he is physically weak and can't assist, plus he can't see the blood of his nephew. Late at night, Marcus' uncle introduces him to his friends. They talk about Roman reign while eating together. Later, a guy informs him that there is a wall on the northern side. An eagle-wielding tribe lives behind this wall. Marcus responds that if it is right, then one of us must go there and take it since it is our eagle. Then a guy responds that Britain is on the other side of the wall. When the brave Roman army became ineffective in front of them, no matter what we do, we would not be able to defeat them. According to the commander, those who crossed over to the other side of the wall had never returned back. These remarks immensely upsets Marcus. Marcus walks away from the scene, and his uncle approaches him and says not to get emotional over such public talks. And they are entirely correct. Nobody ever comes back from the other side of the wall alive. This is why we should not pay attention to it and should work hard and try to understand it. Marcus expresses his heartfelt desire to become a brave commander like his father, and his desire has finally come true. And now he is a commander. Today, I learnt about my father's unfulfilled desire of bringing back the eagle, and now I have the chance to fulfill my father's dream. Explain to me, uncle, how I can keep silent when I know everything. His uncle responds that it is impossible to march an army there. Marcus wonders why I would take an army there. I'll travel by myself. And I'll bring Eska, who is also British, and he is acquainted with the surroundings as well as the local language. The next day, he does the same thing, taking Eska with him. They get to the last wall of the fort and encounter various individuals, and they say no one returns back alive from the other side of the wall, so they should return back to their homes. They say we will open the door from this side, but it will never be opened from the other. After saying this, they began to insult them. Marcus tells them to stop laughing and simply open the door from here, and soon they will open the door from the other side as well. On the other hand, we only see mountains and rocks on the other side. It means that no person, animal, or bird was present. However, the scenery was breathtaking. Eska believes they will find the tribe in a day or two who owns the Roman eagle, and if we can't locate it now, we might not be able to discover it even after weeks of looking. At night, they sleep at a rest stop. Marcus tells Eska that my father looks to be alive and well. He seems to be in my presence. I can feel, and Eska after hearing this says, "Have you come here to look for your father?" After hearing this, Marcus answers, "No, I'm not searching for my father. I came here looking for the eagle to take it back." The next day they continue their journey. Moving ahead, Eska says to him, "If somebody comes down the way, please let me talk to them, because if they find out you are a Roman, they will not leave you, and I'll be killed as well." And then they get weary and hungry, so they start eating something after staying somewhere. But then other people attack them, but they fight back bravely and kill them one by one after battle. Later, a little child attacks Eska, and he defends himself. And as he was about to kill him, he noticed he was just a kid. Marcus kills the kid with a knife he throws as the child tries to flee. He advises Eska not to repeat the same mistake. Don't let your enemies go, whether they're children or adults. Marcus then grasps a guy and requests that Eska question him. Where did the Romans go when they came 30 years ago? He claims they went towards the deep forest on the north side and never returned. They begin to go north through beautiful forests and mountains. On the way, a guy attacks Marcus, and both of Eska and Marcus want to kill him. Eska intervenes, explaining that he is their own soldier. After being questioned, he is revealed to be a Roman soldier. Marcus verifies that he is the same army soldier as after speaking with him. He was a soldier from the troop whom his father was in charge of. He believes that our Roman army was extremely daring and powerful. The British, on the other hand, had brutally slaughtered them one by one. Only the yells of the Romans could be heard in the dark wilderness. Despite this, we did not surrender and instead battled fiercely. Later, the stranger shows Marcus skeletons of Roman army soldiers. He also shows him a stone that was used to break commander's head. The other troops are killed by stabbing them in the mouth and heart with swords. When was the last time you saw my father? Marcus eventually asks the stranger. He informs him that the last time he saw his father he was surrounded by enemies. Because I was the only one who survived, and I didn't help him at all. I was unable to save him. I had no other alternative other than to run. Marcus subsequently inquires about the location of the eagle, saying, "For everyone has sacrificed their life. Where is that?" The man claims that Eska is aware of this. After hearing this, Marcus felt enraged at Eska and asks him that why didn't he tell him all this before? Why were you making us feel unsafe in the forest? In front of you, they brutally killed my father. After hearing this, Eska rages and says, "Because your father and his men were on their way to kill my father. You would have been murdered if I hadn't been there." Marcus becomes further enraged after hearing this. They start fighting, and then a strange tribesman comes. He questions about their identity and the purpose of their visit. Eska claims that I am the British chief's son. The man asks about the man with you who wanted to kill you. Eska made a plan to save him while also trapping Mark. "You're our main guest, and we'll serve you," the guy says to Eska. When they arrive to the chief, he reveals them that Eska is the son of a British leader, and the other is his Roman slave. Marcus is now seen and treated like a slave. The tribe has a function, and they all get drunk in this function. After the function, they all fall asleep. Then Eska awakens Marcus up and tells him to escape with him. When they are all asleep, now is a perfect moment to leave. Marcus then rides his horse to the temple and captures the eagle. They were ready to depart when they hear Eska. They are horrified, but realize he is a small boy, not a young man. "Please bring me along," the small boy begs to Eska, but Eska refuses. "This is your family. And you have no choice but to live with them, says Eska. The boy says if his father finds out that he didn't inform him of the situation, then his father will kill him. No, says Eska, he won't because he's your father. After stating this, he leaves from there. The tribesmen find they've escaped the next day after taking the eagle. They start chasing them. And after 2 days of running, Eska's horse becomes exhausted and falls down. They then continue to Marcus's horse. But Marcus became tired after a while. He tells Eska to leave him alone and take the eagle with him, because he thinks he is not going to make it now. And after hearing this, Eska says, "No, I'm not going to abandon you here. After all, I didn't forget that I'm your slave. And if you want me to leave, then free me up from your slavery." After hearing this, Marcus returns back Eska's father's knife, and he is freed from Marcus's slavery. He refused to take the eagle and tells him not to give up. "Keep an eye out for me. I'll be right back," says Eska. The next day, we discover Eska had returned to Marcus. This time, he's come back with the Roman army. That was his father's army. And the guy claims, "Your father was the only brave person in our army. He was the bravest guy. He battled opponents to his death. He even lost his loved ones in the battle." And upon hearing this, Marcus says, "The time has come for us to restore the glory of our empire." The tribesmen have arrived to take back the eagle. When the tribe commander discovers Eska is among them, he announces, "Befriending your enemies brings the same results." Later, the cruel guy puts his kid in front of everyone and tells him that if he makes a mistake, he should be punished. He beheads and kills his kid. His problem was that he saw both of them but failed to inform his father. Later, both armies battle fiercely, but Marcus and his troops triumph. Eska and Marcus later take the eagle to Marcus's uncle. According to his uncle's friend, his father was the bravest soldier. "You are now the bravest soldier because you have accomplished the impossible. You have retained the Roman glory. As a result of your action, your name will go down in history." Marcus is happy to meet Eska. And the film ends. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe for more videos like this.